it just got even more real as we have another major Kevin Durant report, this one coming out of Phoenix, and one of their top insiders, John Gambadoro, as he reveals the trade package that would send Kevin Durant to San Antonio, reportedly involving Devin Vassell, another name, and not that much in terms of what we were expecting Kevin Durant to cost, as Brian Wright has a golden opportunity. We have to dive into the reported trade package from a couple of sources, what it would take to bring Kevin Durant to San Antonio. And again, it's less than we thought, but also exactly what John Gambadoro said in terms of Kevin Durant's camp eyeing the San Antonio Spurs. Keenan, this stuff's coming out very, very quick, and we got it all here on Spurs Digest. And let's just start with the actual report here. Now, this comes from Spurs Reporter on Twitter. You can find the original source from John Gambadoro as well, but it's just, a nice Spurs account. Great follow, by the way, if you haven't followed Spurs Reporter on Twitter. But he said on there, John Gambadoro, that is, remember, 29-year veteran here, that people in Kevin Durant's camp are pointing to San Antonio as a likely landing spot. And I went and grabbed the actual quote. He said, if a Kevin Durant trade is going to happen, it will probably happen before the draft. Keep an eye on the Spurs. And again, he's been talking about the Spurs being a destination for the last little while. Keenan, we know Shams Charania said that the Spurs and Kevin Durant had mutual interest at the trade deadline. Shams also said that the Spurs are looking to add a star wing. And before we dive into the actual trade package, I mean, this has gone from like it'd be kind of cool, but he's a lot of money. It'd probably cost us a lot too. This is like, this might actually happen. And I'm not sure if my brain is ready for this.
Mine's not either, because it's Kevin Durant, and I understand that like Kevin Durant is thought of old. He didn't make it to the playoffs this year. He didn't even make it to the play-in this year. But 27, 6, and 4 on 53% shooting, 43% from three. He might not be the best scorer of all time, but he's definitely got one of the, if not the most elite bag. He can do anything. And the thing is, if you don't have to pay a premium to get him, I understand he is old. He will be 37 before next year. But if you don't have to pay a premium to get this guy who could play on any single team that's ever been assembled in the NBA and make them better, you can't not say that about everybody. Other players, you have to kind of build around him. He can just plug and play any team, and it's going to elevate them. And he also wants to be in a situation that loves basketball. He just loves to play basketball. And who doesn't love basketball more than the San Antonio Spurs? Starts with Gregg Popovich, all about basketball, and goes down from there. He would be a perfect fit for this team.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, like, he's a perfect fit almost anywhere, but I've been talking about this so much. I mean, you look at the roster construction. Now, again, we'll dive into exactly who will likely get moved. Surprise, Devin Vassell is one of them. The other name you can probably guess too, but there's a twist to it that we got to talk about it in just a minute. It does play off yesterday's video if you haven't watched that as well. But, like, again, you have De'Aaron Fox. Like, really, you just got to look at the 1, the 3, and the 5, and then you fill in the rest. I mean, Durant might even play the 4, actually, but still, you got De'Aaron Fox, then you'll have Kevin Durant and Victor Wembanyama. If you wanted to construct a trio that, in theory, works best together in terms of play styles, I don't think you could get a trio better than that. A slashing point guard who can shoot the three if he needs to, very solid playmaker, one of the greatest scorers of all time, if not the greatest scorer of all time, in Kevin Durant, who, again, reminder, yes, he's old, but this dude had an Achilles tear, and he still came back on a bad Suns team, shooting 53% from the field, 43 from three, 51% on corner threes. He's basically 7 feet tall, averaging 27 a game. And there's going to be less offensive pressure on him in San Antonio because he has an offense with more lethal options in Fox and Wemby. And you got Wemby, who just literally does everything, Keenan. He's the best defensive player in the world. He can shoot the three. He can dribble as well. If you could construct a trio, again, like I said, I don't know if you could get one that seamlessly fits together as good as this trio.
And the thing about it, too, is, like, Stephon Castle, who you don't want to stunt the growth and development of Stephon Castle. Kevin Durant is not going to do that. We saw him, the Warriors, 73-9. They are a juggernaut. You don't want to ruin the flow of that. Drop him in, 67-15, 16-1 in the playoffs, arguably the greatest team we've ever seen in, like, the history of basketball. Like, you can just drop this guy in. What do we need? We need bigs and we need shooting. Is Kevin Durant a big? No. Is he big? Yes. He is 6'11". They say 6'11". Really 7'1". He's looking KG eye to eye. They say 6'11", but I'm guaranteeing he's over 7 foot. So he can rebound. He can play solid to good defense at this point in his career. He was an elite defender about half a decade plus back, but this guy can truly play, and he will give us everything we want. And we want elite shooting. What more elite shooting than 43% from three from that guy? Or the one dribble pull up? He can teach Wemby how to play too. Like, that's another thing. Wemby looks up to Kevin Durant.
Mhm.
He can teach him how to play and how to maximize the game in which Wemby has, because no one can relate more to the body, the style, the physique, and the play to Wemby than Kevin Durant. That's another aspect of it that people aren't even thinking about.
Yeah, that's a big one too, because again, like it's more than just the play on the court, it's that leadership too. But like, look, I know the whole talk about this is, look, he just has 1 year left, and I get that. But again, in an ideal world, maybe he extends, right? I mean, if they're eyeing San Antonio, if he wants to be here, why not? But again, Keenan, like you alluded to earlier, it's all about the trade package, and I'm finally going to reveal it. Now, the first thing we got to talk about here is, again, Spurs reporter saying the details mentioned around this report is that San Antonio would send Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes plus picks for Durant, but this is all speculative. But this is not the only thing we had. We also have a tweet here from Jake Weinbach saying a trade package from the Spurs for Kevin Durant will most likely include Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and the number 14 pick. Durant's camp reportedly views San Antonio as a preferred landing spot, and there's been reports of mutual interest since the trade deadline. Now, a lot of this, again, nothing is officially confirmed, but again, Keenan, based on the report from yesterday from Kelly Iko and the Rockets beat reporter at The Athletic, the Suns are very focused on, in a Kevin Durant trade, at getting back their own draft capital. Now, Houston owns the number 10 overall pick, which was originally the Suns. But again, the Spurs have other guys that can make that salary match. We're talking Harrison Barnes, we're talking Devin Vassell. Let me bring up this picture here and hide that one. This works in a trade, right? That's $46 million, Harrison Barnes' expiring deal, who's also getting up there in age, 33 years old, and Devin Vassell, and you can give the Suns back, at least give them a kickstart in their draft picks for the future. I originally thought, like, if we're talking, like, months ago, talking around trade deadline, any news about Kevin Durant, I'm thinking, look, if the Spurs are in on this, we're giving at least one of our first-round picks, probably both, a bunch of other stuff. Keenan, if this is the real price, this to me is a very low risk move, and I know you have thoughts on Devin Vassell that you're going to share as well, but like, to me, I know not every fan's going to agree, but to me this is one of those things that it's like, I don't know, even though it's more of a short-term move, I think moving on from Devin Vassell and replacing expiring Harrison Barnes with expiring Kevin Durant is something that you really have to look at.
This is a low risk, high reward move. If you were next year just to remove Harrison Barnes, remove Devin Vassell, and add Dylan Harper without anything else, just literally take them off the team, they're still a top 6, top 5 caliber team in the Western Conference. And this is a loaded West. You'd have Wemby, you'd have Castle, you'd have Fox, you'd have Jeremy Sohan, you would have Dylan Harper, and then Julian Champagnie, and you could fill it in with a couple other roster pieces like random free agents. That's still a very good team. So why not just take the chance and be like, hey, okay, in the short term, we have Kevin Durant. And cap-wise, this doesn't... people are worried with the Giannis trade, like, okay, that's going to cap strap us in the future. And that's a valid point. I think Giannis is great. That's a definite conversation for another day. But Kevin Durant's not going to cap strap you because his contract's going to come and go before Wemby's even contract matters, before Stephon Castle's contract even matters. So, like, he's not going to be a hindrance. All he's going to do is give you a much better chance to win in the now, while Wemby's developing more, while Stephon Castle's developing more, while Dylan Harper, if we choose to go there at number 2, which we expect we will, develops more. And then when they're all ready, Kevin Durant can be like, hey, we're good. And also, he likes it in San Antonio. They get to say the Western Conference Finals next year. He's like, man, I can just take 25, 30 million to play with this team next year rather than going somewhere else. If Gregg Popovich is still in part of basketball operations, he is the hand that's going to trickle down on everything. People want to play for Gregg Popovich. And I think that the Kevin Durant for that package, for Devin Vassell, he just doesn't fit on this roster anymore. I'm sorry. As long as the number 2 pick is Dylan Harper and we're not trading it, Devin Vassell no longer fits on this roster. He is a very good player. He can make a lot of teams a lot of wins and play really well alongside other people. I think he'd play well alongside Devin Booker, honestly. He's just, right now, for what we have, would you rather get rid of him or Stephon Castle? Would you rather get rid of him or De'Aaron Fox? Would you rather get rid of him or the 2nd pick in the draft?
It's him.
It's just where it is, and that's unfortunate, but that's the business of the NBA.
I actually think Devin
the business
Vassell
of how it
would be
goes.
better with, like, in Beal's place. Like, is that crazy to say? Like, I think Devin Vassell would be better for the Suns
No.
than Bradley Beal in the
Oh,
same place at like
absolutely.
half the price.
It's a much better contract, and
Yeah.
it's not a no trade clause where he just thinks he's LeBron James or someone of that nature. Like, yeah, no, it'd be much better for him in in Bradley Beal's place, and he's healthier.
Yep.
I understand he had the foot injury last year, but he's a much healthier player than Bradley Beal has been historically.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation to have. And look, I know I like Harrison Barnes too. And look, if this trade doesn't go through, I'm more than happy keeping him around for another year. That dude was a sniper from three this year. He
Yes.
provided a lot for this team. But listen, again, and like we talked about yesterday, I kind of alluded to, hey, maybe this is the kind of trade the Spurs can do. I think I literally said if the deal is Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and like the number 14. I might have said that in the video. I don't know if I did or not, but this is what it's looking like it actually might be. And if that's the trade, would you do it? I think we both would. And listen, hey, even if Kevin Durant, like you said, Keenan, sticks around 2 more years at a slight discount, we could have something big cooking on our hands. But listen, that'll do it for this episode of Spurs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of stuff coming up very soon, especially as we head into draft season. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Keenan Warner. We'll catch you in the next one.